My mother-in-law flirted with my father during my wedding?
Well, maybe she'll be your new stepmom.
I'm 24 and my now ex-husband is 29. We will call people in this story for privacy reasons Derek.
Hold on, we're just going to be calling everyone Derek? We can't call everyone Derek. What are we doing? We can't do that.
This is why we have commas, people. Derek, my ex-husband. Stella, my ex-husband's cousin. And Brenda, mother-in-law.
Oh, thank goodness.
That would get pretty confusing. By the way, this comes from Anonymous Bride, WTF. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments.
Yeah.
OP says, me and my ex-husband, Derek, met when I moved from Vancouver, Canada with my father to the U.S. I was 19 and he was 24. We met at a grocery store when I was struggling to understand a store employee's assistance. Back home, me and my father lived on a more isolated property away from people. I was raised with French as my first language. Until today, I struggled with English in my grammar vocally and in writing. He knew some poor French, but it helped me with what I was asking for. And after that, he casually asked me out. We've been together ever since. He proposed to me in September of last year. Before we were engaged, I had what I thought was a strange relationship with his mom, Brenda. She was a free-spirited woman. She always complained she had her son too young and blamed his father, explaining to me he only wants to get women pregnant and then leave them. I didn't have much family due to my father and mother isolating me from my toxic mother's side. So it was new to me to meet a family of 8 kids from 30 to 3 years old. Brenda always spoke to me about her issues with every new wife Derek's father had and tried to make bets with me how short these marriages will last after he gets a pregnancy. I was very uncomfortable. One day when I came over to drop off containers Derek borrowed, she asked me to help her with dating apps. I said, sure, and ended up setting her up on 5. 5?
5?
5?
5 seems like
excessive.
Maybe a little too much. Maybe we're jumping the gun a little bit here.
You're checking all of those? Little did I know this would be a very uncomfortable issue. It seems like that was pretty plain to see. Brenda would call me and visit me at the apartment and make small talk before asking me how to type certain words and make sentences make sense. What? I understood you wouldn't want to ask your son how to respond to a guy, but with my poor English grammar, I struggle to help her every time. Yeah, she's asked, so one, I guess she doesn't even know how to maybe she's asking for text lingo or that kind of lingo. But to ask the person who has said multiple times, I don't really have all of the understandings of English grammar to help you with your English. These messages were pretty spicy, and sometimes while I'd retype what she was saying, some NSFW pictures would be sent. On dating apps? My understanding of most of those apps, you can't do that.
I wouldn't know anything about that. I don't use those.
Well, all right then. My final straw was when one sent an eggplant emoji.
Not the purple emoji.
That was your final straw?
You know what?
I'm sorry, they were sending wiener pics?
No, there's an eggplant emoji. It was the eggplant emoji that really sends it over the line. It's just the disrespect. I just love pointing out that it's eggplant because before it's ripe, it looks like a little egg. That's why they call it eggplant. You didn't know that? I just assumed you would know that, since you know so many things. Yeah, not even sarcastic. Not that might have sounded sarcastic, but I swear. I just meant that. She's good at crosswords.
Appreciate that. I needed serious boundaries with this woman and complained to Derek I was very uncomfortable with certain retyping for his mom. Derek claimed he'd complain about it, but he never did. Derek claimed he isn't a mama's boy and all men that are become weak and spoiled. Yet, he was a huge mama's boy himself, making me pick up dinners his mom would cook him and take it to his apartment, and his laundry she still did for him. That's incredibly embarrassing.
You gotta be able to do your own laundry.
You got laundry. The thing is, when people don't know how to do their laundry, when you're I feel like a lot of boys come to college and they don't know how to do laundry, because I did have to teach a lot of boys in my dorm how to do laundry. But, after college, by the time that you've lived alone for at least 1 year and you still don't know how to do laundry, that's embarrassing. It's so easy.
I know how to do laundry as a concept.
That's all you
Am I
need.
the best at it? No, a lot of times I shrink stuff because I put things in the dryer.
You know what? I'm going to go through
They
your
need to
clothes.
get dry.
I'm going to go through your clothes and tell you which ones cannot go in the dryer.
This one can't. I know this one can't. But, like, I just want my clothes to be dry. At some point, I will get shirts that are, like, cotton, and then at some point, I'm like, I just don't care. I'm dry. These need to be dry.
Yeah, you hand dry.
Now I'm drying them on. But that's too much. When I dry them in the air, then they get, like, all weird from the hanger and stuff. And I'm outing myself. But my girlfriend has taught me to dry things on delicate only.
Yeah, you can air dry them in the dryer.
Well, I can't run the dryer for 7 hours.
All right. He refused to eat my cooking half the time and said if I wanted to be a cook one day, then maybe his mom should be my new teacher. He'd poke fun at my heritage and claim maybe French people can't cook with flavors, despite me always having to alter my cooking to less flavor because he claims it's too strong.
I'm pretty sure French people are known for cooking with flavors. Have you seen Ratatouille?
French people are known for their cooking.
Have you seen the documentary Ratatouille?
Literally, even the rats know how to cook.
And they can talk.
Yep. I decided to set up one of his lively cousins, Stella, to go dancing with Brenda. At first, it worked. Stella had helped me with my boundary issue and made Brenda think it was her idea to stop visiting 6 times a week. Flash forward a year later to my engagement. Brenda was over the moon about it, saying she would finally have a daughter to call her own. Around this time, I included my dad more in the wedding planning and finding something similar to my mother's wedding dress. We have a close bond over our family. My mother passed away young with my little sister when I was 11 in a car accident.
No.
That's really awful. So
no.
sorry. This made my older brother rebel and eventually distance himself from us, leaving just me and my father. My father loved my mother more than anything, despite him being a stone-faced, expressionless type of man. He wanted to be part of the things my mother couldn't be for my wedding, taking her role in all the girly things he said she could have been doing. I've explained to Brenda that planning this wedding is very important to my father, and there were certain things it'd be best we do alone, like find a dress, help me with my first dance, some decor, and the cake. There were many things me and Derek included his mother in, but she was very frustrated the most intimate moments were not spent with her. About October, after my dress arrived, I invited Brenda over to help me put it on and pick an accessory of her choosing for my hair. Since the rest of my jewelry was all my mother's, she picked a pretty hairpiece and asked me why I'm wearing such old-fashioned jewelry like pearls and a sapphire pearl choker. I explained they were my mother's, and she instantly looked upset. She then said, I forgot something at home. It's for your dress. Let me be right back. She never came back that night. I gotta go. I'll be right back.
I gotta go. Don't worry about it.
And she never
for your dress.
returned.
And then were you like, are you okay?
Yeah, text
did you just let that go?
What happened? Waiting for you. I told my fiance, and he suggested maybe she was jealous and to be quiet about bringing up my mom since it might offend his. Immediately, I'm like, no, that's incredibly inappropriate of you to tell me not to talk about my mom who passed away because your mom's jealous. Immediately, no. Like, that's so disrespectful to her memory. And also to OP's relationship with her mom.
Yeah, you should really stop talking about that woman. Who was? Oh, yeah, your mom. Gross.
Come to my wedding in November. Everything was perfect, just as planned. My father walked me down and I became Mrs. Not real name. When we were celebrating, Derek went to his siblings to chat and I stayed by my table to relax. Stella, who was one of my bridesmaids, came up to me and asked me if I'd seen Brenda. She said she was concerned because she saw Brenda eyeing my dad.
Giving him the eyes.
They never formally met or had a conversation longer than 5 minutes because how quiet and cold my dad is. My father understands little to no English, period, so I worried maybe Brenda was tipsy and angry at him. So I asked Stella to please find her and make sure she causes no issues. When it came 30 minutes before the father-daughter dance, I couldn't find my dad. This is like so unrelated, but I am interested by the fact that you guys don't seem to like you have more of a French roots when you are like we're coming from Vancouver. Because I mean, it would usually be Quebec. You're probably originally from Quebec.
They got French people all over the place up there.
No, for sure. But just like that, her father has no understanding of English when that's just interesting.
He's just a French guy. He was born to be French.
He said, I don't want to learn anything else. No, thank you.
Born to be French Canadian.
It's true. He's never a late person, and he agreed to meet before our dance. I began to panic and started looking for him, only to hear some yelling from Stella in a crowd. I found Stella holding back Brenda while my dad was backed into a wall, uncomfortable. Ew. Brenda was yelling at Stella to quit being a rooster block. She swore my dad liked her too and was dropping hints the whole wedding planning by the way he looked at her, and he must just be shy.
He says,
Shy. Il dit, do not know your sentiment.
Entendre de... I don't know.
I do not speak.
I don't know enough French to be a French guy.
Parlez-vous français?
You've been to France more than me.
For 10 days.
Which is 0 times. Hey, we were American football.
He's flirting with me. He's flirting.
Jimi Hendrix. Honestly, though, that might be flirting if you're just fully French, just trying to say American things to someone.
American football, French fries.
Well, I guess they're still in France.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, Canada.
No, they're in the U.S. now.
Oh, they're in the... Okay. No, stop it. I don't know. French.
I took Brenda somewhere private and scolded her on how inappropriate that was. That hitting on my dad was major off limits, and them even having that type of relationship would be morbidly disturbing because she's my mother-in-law and he's my biological dad. She told me that I was now the rooster block and had daddy issues and mommy issues. She started saying that I was embarrassing her. You're embarrassing yourself, girl.
You're honestly, out of all of the people on the face of the planet you could pursue, you're going to pursue your daughter's husband's father?
Yeah, weird.
You're gross for that.
The other way around. Your husband's...
Sorry, your husband's daughter...
No, your
These French Canadians got me mixed up, dude.
Your son's wife's father.
Your son's wife's father. You freak. Go find literally any other man on the planet.
Any other one. How 2 adults loving each other or hooking up is normal. And said maybe I can't see that with my isolated pilgrim Canadian mind. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Your isolated Canadian pilgrim mind could never comprehend what I've seen on the internet, which is that this is fine.
This is actually fine, because you just don't get it. I was extremely insulted and asked her to leave to take a breather and come back once she's sober because she was obviously wasted on something. She left angrily, and I apologized to my father. He told me he was sorry for ruining my day, and I told him it's not his fault. He barely understood what even happened, just the weird energy and how mad I looked. I explained to him in French what happened. After the party, I complained to my husband about what just happened, and he tells me that he doesn't see the issue with his mother's intentions. And then you divorce.
I don't know if that's divorce level.
He doesn't understand the issue.
I don't know if that's immediate divorce level. Come on.
No. Okay. I would have a strongly worded conversation, but if he stands on business that, one, his mom flirting with her dad is not like incredibly weird and super not okay, if he doesn't understand that. And 2, he doesn't understand that her flirting with a man that is not interested and clearly uncomfortable is also not okay. I'd be like, what are we not understanding?
Of course. But she's also heavily intoxicated.
Sure, but
it's like you gotta, you're gonna be a little defensive of your own parent. But it's not good. It has to be a thing where he goes, that's not good. Unless, I guess he comes from that household. Maybe they're just taught, it's all in the extended, not extended family. That would be bad.
Their motto is, as long as you're not related.
Yeah. In law, more like in love. You know what I'm saying?
Woo! But there's a lot more. I looked at him horrified and explained if our parents got together and got married, then we were step-siblings. And even so, our parents hooking up is weird. He said it's only weird if I think about it like that, and I'm closed-minded.
Honestly, though, I kind of agree with him. I do kind of agree with him. I think that it's only as weird as however much power you let it have over you. It's we'd be step siblings. It's like, no, we wouldn't. You'd be my wife. We wouldn't be that's crazy that you would put that above us being married.
Mom, started dating your girlfriend's dad, you would not be weirded out by...
Are they both single?
Yeah, they're both single.
Okay. I'd be like, well, that's weird.
Yes!
But I wouldn't be like, and it's the earth-shattering revelation and I'm contemplating divorce. I'd be like, well, what are we going to do? They're two consenting adults.
I'd be like that.
I think you have a point. The bigger problem here is that my drunken mother is like harassing this poor French man.
Yeah. He's like, no. Merci, no.
Yeah, that's really the more of the problem than anything, is just being like, dude, she was really bothering him.
He fully believes his mom did nothing wrong, and my dad and me are close-minded. Now he's saying your dad's close-minded? That's crazy.
It's like,
your dad's close-minded for not being attracted to my mom.
Why wouldn't your dad want my mom? Have you seen it?
Hot piece.
Has he been drinking today?
And says we just can't get over the loss of my mom and sister and need to learn to.
All right, now I'm starting to think divorce is on the table.
I'm gone.
You're bringing that into this?
Gone. Offended, I get out of the car and Uber myself home.
That's crazy. I'm sorry.
Gone.
Bringing up your passed away, your mother and sister who passed away in a car accident
as the reasoning to why her dad isn't attracted to his mom.
Yeah, now that she's just a drunken mess. Like, what?
That night, Brenda calls me only to tell me off and say I'm the reason my father's a proud widow. She called me a bunch of names I won't repeat, but one of them was Daddy's loving effing sleut. She said it's normal that no woman can resist a man that looks like that. You little weirdo.
But again, it has nothing to do with if your mom is into him. It's like, it's just that it's not reciprocating.
Harassing this man. Leave him alone. I hung up and felt gross. My father was a very sculpted man, and I'd say was averagely handsome. He looks like a young Louis Garrel with stubble and pretty layered hair with a small mullet. Ooh. He wears a ponytail or a bun every day and has green eyes. Ooh. And he's French. Ooh.
I don't know. Ponytail. I'm not.
But he's a French guy and he's got a
ponytail. He wears a ponytail every day.
There you go.
Think about ponytail every day. Ponytail man every day. Ponytail. I've never seen a dude pull off a ponytail without it being like
ponytail all the time.
Huh?
John wears a ponytail all the time.
Nuh-uh.
He does a little bun.
I haven't seen him wear a pony.
Well, he does like a little bun.
He doesn't wear a ponytail all the time. He lets that flow.
He wears a little bun.
I didn't say bun.
Okay.
I said ponytail. And then,
you know what? What about
it's like you let your hair dry or something. Like,
have you seen Treasure Planet?
That man is a cartoon, and he is the exception. But he is a cartoon. I have never seen a person pull that off.
I'm gonna find someone. We only look alike with the brown hair, eye shape, and eyebrows. Brenda said before when she first met my dad that minus the eye color and nose, my dad and I looked very alike. So this situation made me think of that memory more in disgust. I ended up moving some of my stuff with Stella and said I needed to be away from my husband because I just felt disturbed on how easily he takes his mom's side on having the same point of view of her wanting to get with my dad. He demanded that I apologize, and the only person who ruined my wedding was me, saying I'm closed-minded and I just don't understand because I have such a small family. I've gotten several calls and texts from his siblings calling me selfish and demanding I apologize, claiming I'm a bridezilla. By the way, I'm not just claiming, I'm letting you know for real that you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I will say.
What will you say?
I do kind of like, he's wrong.
Yeah.
Or no, wait.
Brenda. Brenda or the husband?
Who's the one with the mom?
Husband.
He's wrong.
Yes.
His mom was in the wrong, that guy. And that is, first of all, not the time or place to pursue your
son's wedding.
Yeah, that is not the time or place for that.
Of course.
However, there's nothing inherently like wrong with that happening organically, naturally. If two people are into each other, I don't think it should be. We're technically step-siblings. Yeah, well, you didn't grow up together. You became step-siblings after you became married. That's not even, it's like it overwrites it. It does not count. You are not step-siblings. You are are married.
I agree with that point, but I still would be like, please don't do that, parent.
Right. And I would as well. I would also do that, but you can't be like, no. And also, if you don't think that's weird, I'm divorcing you. But
I think you should divorce him for other reasons.
Yeah, all of this, every other layer of this.
Yeah, divorce.
Take that layer away. Everything else is horrific.
Yeah.
You can bring up your mom?
Yeah, horrible.
Oh my, no, that's
horrifying.
Over. You are on day 1 of marriage.
Yeah, and you already ruined it.
You have a window into exactly what you're going to be looking at for the rest of your marriage, for the rest of your life. So I get that annulled immediately.
Yep. I currently live with his cousin Stella as a roommate, and she has become my best friend. She even happily delivered the divorce papers 4 weeks after the incident.
Yes.
Heck yeah. I thought I'd share this 23 disaster, and hopefully my 2024 is much brighter. Despite this, it's lonely without the man who felt at first as my player 2 to my player 1 in the game of life. Okay. I just couldn't bring myself to face him anymore.
Okay, nerd. Okay, nerd.
Nerd? After reflecting on...
No, but that was no.
What?
Say it was sweet.
It was sweet, but he's sus. So
but
your controller's gone. It's passed away.
Yeah, that controller's fault. That controller was faulty.
Yeah,
that was a Mad Catz controller. That was the third-party BS controller.
Yeah, every time you tried to play fencing on Wii Sports Resort, you would always win because his controller was just whack.
Is that a lived experience?
Yeah. Yeah, my controller never worked. So hard to play and your controller doesn't work. I just couldn't bring myself to face him anymore after reflecting on his toxic behavior and knowing I don't just marry a man, I marry the family. Well, you do just marry a man unless you marry a man who's like, I support my mom saying that she's okay in harassing your dad. And also I support my mom when she like insults your mother.
In-laws, come here. Come here, in-laws. If you realize that you are in love with your child's partner's parent, you need to keep that on the DL if you are into them. And most importantly, they need to be into you, or there's nothing there. So don't go and literally badger this person at your child's wedding. That is at the time nor the place.
Yeah, agreed.
This is a DL situation.
So true. OP continues, today me and Stella moved 4 states away, and I'm Stella's current maid of honor for her 2025 wedding, and am happily single till I find someone with their crap together. And that's the end of that story. Yeah, that guy sucks.
Had some twists and turns on it.
But hey, we've got another one coming right up.
My husband's family banned me from the funeral, and now they're saying I'm controlling him.
What do you think I am? Some kind of hypnotist?
I, 22 female, am very conflicted and honestly just need to get someone else's perspective in order to stop being so worried about my spouse, 22 male. Recently, my spouse's great-grandfather passed away. Significantly less fun than a bit about hypnotism. My spouse is a very emotional man. He doesn't like to be away from me for long periods of time. We have the husband and wife typical dynamic. I work part-time and stay home, while he works full-time and pays most of the bills. This was something he dreamed of. By the way, this comes from user UnluckyDonut6678, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
And we are here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers, so if you would do something else, you do something different, let us know in the comments. But be nice to each other, please, and OP says. He has insisted on bringing me to all of the events involving the passing because I'm apparently his form of emotional support, which is really not fair really quickly, right away. Not fair at all to you.
You never want to make your partner your like full emotional, you don't want to like unload all of that onto one person.
Yeah.
Of course there is like a semblance of, there is a part of a relationship where you do want to like talk about your emotions and like you lean on your partner. But just you never want to put all of that into someone.
Yeah, that doesn't feel right. Well, apparently his mother and grandmother do not like this very much. They're upset with me for moving in with him and being with him in general. I've not met these women much because they've refused to come near me for the most part. However, my spouse's feelings are much more important to me.
Well, I guess maybe OP was just saying I'm an emotional support, and maybe not saying that he's putting all of it on.
I think that it's.
I think maybe, yeah. I think OP was just saying they were. I thought they were saying like that is a bad thing, but it seems like they were just like, yeah, I provide emotional support.
Well, I just mean that if you're uncomfortable as a partner, going to all of these events for the passing of like the great grandfather, I think that should be okay. I think you should be like, I'm not actually going to go to every event for this.
I think that's fair.
But I don't think that's what my problem was.
Oh, I thought
not that she was the emotional support, just that it was like there's no room for her to just be like, hey, this is a little too much for me, honestly, and you and your family are going through a lot, and I get that, but like, I can't. Well, I can't be at every single thing.
That's what I was saying. It just doesn't seem like that was necessarily what was happening.
Yeah, especially when it definitely also sounds like the women in this family don't like you.
Yep.
We were at the house where his great-grandfather passed, giving our condolences to his now widowed wife. My spouse walked into the kitchen, and his grandmother followed him to talk about the service. A while later, I walked in there to ask him for my phone out of his pocket so I could check on some things involving school, as I'm in college right now. And when I walked in there, his grandmother told me before I said a word, "Can't you just let me have a private conversation with my grandson?"
Jeez. You could have just said, "Hey, having a private conversation with my grandson."
Yeah.
That would have worked too.
I left, and all I said was, "You could have just asked me to leave. I'm sorry." There were witnesses present to this, including my spouse. On Tuesday, my spouse and I got invited to lunch with his aunt and his widowed great-grandmother. She apologized to me for the way her daughter lashed out at me at the house, as after the encounter, she left and called me many inappropriate names. During the lunch, his great-grandmother told him she specifically wanted us both to come to a family dinner in honor of his great-grandfather's passing on Monday. Now, his cousin called him today and told him he shouldn't bring me. Told me over the phone that I needed to just stay home and keep the peace. When my husband tried to tell him that he wanted me there so he could feel safer emotionally, his cousin told him, "Well, buddy, you're a man. You can tough it out." I won't lie, that pissed me off. It hurt my spouse a lot, too. So, my spouse no longer wants to go to the family dinner. He is hurt, and he doesn't want to grieve without me there. I told him if he still wanted to go, that I was okay with staying home to keep the peace so he could be with his family during this grief. He doesn't want to go now, though.
Well, then that's fair. That he shouldn't have to go. If they won't let him bring someone who's providing him emotional support, then I would be like, okay, well, then, I don't think I'm able to go.
Yeah, I mean, if you're supportive of this and you don't feel like you're being backed into a corner, I see no problem with that.
Yeah.
But part of me feels like for this kind of thing, though, it's like there has to be some level of like, I'm sure that was very callous the way the cousin said that, but there does have to be some level of like, you should be able to, I don't know how to say this right. Clearly, these people are like hostile towards your partner. So you have to be able to weigh the scale of like, do I want my partner to feel like they're being attacked, or belittled or talked about behind their back constantly, or, and like feel like it's going to be harder for me to go like deal with it, or like, do I go without her and spare her from that? But now it's, I don't know. I feel like there is a calculus there to do.
I see. Yeah.
But
you don't go at all, honestly, if they say that.
Yeah. There's a lot of moving parts to this already. His family thinks I'm forcing him not to go. And he's tried explaining that it was his decision, but they won't believe him. Yeah, really, the people forcing you not to go are them. Mm-hmm. Or I guess his grandmother, mostly.
Yeah.
And now the cousin's getting in there being like, oh, well, because she said this and that and the other, like she shouldn't come.
Yeah.
So it's really the cousin and the grandma's fault. Mm-hmm. My husband has never had the best relationship with his mother or grandmother. Before we started dating, he was looking into moving and cutting them both off, but he's trying to keep contact with his great-grandmother. He doesn't want to ask her to keep her daughter and granddaughter away, so he's trying to put up with them as long as she's around so she can have peaceful family outings. However, after his grandmother's outburst and after the comments his cousin made, he doesn't want to tough it out anymore. He says he can't stand how they treat him and that it makes him angry that they treat me the way they do as well. I'm worried about him missing the opportunity to be there for his great-grandmother. Usually I encourage him to at least try to talk to them so he can stay in the loop of what's going on with her health. However, after the way they've treated us both, he has refused to talk to them at all. I've stopped trying to get him to as well because it doesn't seem to be working. Approaching them with kindness was the approach we decided to try, and honestly, it seemed to just make things worse. He doesn't want to go, and his family thinks I'm making him stay with me. I kind of feel like an a-hole for even being involved.
You just are existing.
Yeah.
Don't feel like an a-hole. You're literally just existing. His family sucks. And he's being pulled in, 5 different directions, all while grieving a loss. So I feel like, at this point, he just needs to go to them and say, you know what? I don't really care what you guys think. I'm not coming because of your behavior. It's not my wife's decision.
Right.
If you want to believe whatever you want to believe, whatever, but I won't be there.
Yeah. And let them know how it's pushing you away from them. The way that you are approaching my spouse and not listening to me is pushing me away from you even further. I understand that everyone is upset and grieving, but my spouse is overwhelmed and hurting too. He wants to grieve where he is comfortable. And I am trying to respect that and not push him anymore. The reason I feel bad is because of his great-grandmother. She is a very kind woman. They were together for a long time. I know she has to be hurting so much, and she wanted us there so badly. My husband fully refuses to go if he can't take me with him. I don't really know how to handle this situation. I'm trying to be empathetic and put myself in the shoes of his family, but it gets really hard when you're being put down constantly by the ones you're trying to be nice to. I still haven't said anything mean or rude to them, and I won't because I refuse to stoop that low. I just feel so bad for his great-grandmother and for him, and he has my full support no matter what. This man is my rock and has been with me through thick and thin. He's overwhelmed and tired and wants me there for him, then nobody is stopping me from doing that. I am honestly probably just not going to get involved after this point and no longer encourage my husband to talk to those parts of his family for the sake of someone else. As much as I love his great-grandmother, I will not watch him fall apart for someone else's sake. I do feel like a bit of an a-hole to her, though.
Why?
I just wish there was a way to actually make peace like he originally wanted to do, but nothing has ever worked. Am I the a-hole for giving up on encouraging him to make peace? There is an update.
No. Well, you can't do anything. The one thing is, you're not doing anything wrong. They are attacking you guys for whatever reason. You have tried to, fix that relationship. They're not willing to do that. And therefore, I don't think that you should actively antagonize them, but just kind of internalizing that it's not your fault. There's really nothing that you can do. There's nothing that he can do. So how do we make peace for ourselves?
I don't know about that. I wouldn't say anyone here's an a-hole except for members of the family that are ostracizing you and causing all of this undue stress upon him.
Yes.
But it is unfortunate that he can't see that just going without you at this point would be the solution that would bring the most peace to you and to his great-grandmother. And the only thing stopping him from doing that is that he would have to spend a day without you there as his emotional support, just within your physical proximity. Because you're there, you're a phone call away, you're a text message away, hey, I'm overwhelmed, let me talk to you for 5 minutes. It's unfortunate that he cannot make that call, and that it seems like even you pushing him to make that call, he refuses to do it. So you're just stuck in this position of I feel like I'm the bad guy now. Yeah. No matter what.
Yeah.
So I won't call him an a-hole for that because he's clearly he's grieving. There's a lot going on. He's never had a great relationship with his mom and his grandma, but it does suck that he can't. It does suck that he can't just make that call. But we do have an update. For anyone who was reading this, we ended up missing the funeral. Spouse claims that he set an alarm but missed it. I'm assuming he just didn't want to go, like he tried explaining before and was looking for a way out. That's really unfortunate. And I think you've got to press him on that. It's a tricky thing to press someone on, though, but it's like that kind of behavior will snowball over time because y'all are both young. He's 22. Yeah. You're in your early 20s.
So young.
If he continues to treat these kinds of situations and problems as something that can just be, you don't acknowledge it or you just ignore it or you run away from it, you're looking at that for the rest of your life now.
No, I think a lot of this is because he is so young, and hopefully he learns from that.
Yeah. So he's always been a firefighter, mechanic, or paramedic. What? Wait, what?
Is he 22?
Whoa. Yeah, he is.
Okay. Wow.
Anyways, pivoting here, my spouse has always been either a firefighter, mechanic, or paramedic. We live where Hurricane Helene hit, and we hadn't moved in together yet when the hurricane happened. We were stuck there for 2 weeks, barely having enough supplies to survive due to conditions, and having to help the public too. Ever since this happened, he hasn't wanted to go back. He just doesn't like it. I think he has a small case of PTSD forming because of it. He gets freaked out when it rains. Yeah, it sounds like he's got it. His mother, without asking him, invited the entire fire department he was with to the the funeral, knowing he hasn't been comfortable going around them. He's pissed because they also invited his best friend. His best friend called him after the funeral, telling him everyone was pissed off at him, which is kind of fair. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's if you're going to make the choice to, I mean, I know you said you set the alarm and you slept through it, but let's be honest. If you're going to miss the funeral, you have to deal with the repercussions of people not being happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, you knew that was going to happen, I guess.
They continued to ask him if he could come to the family dinner that was yesterday after the funeral. There were two, one the day before and one the day of. And at first he was going to go, but his best friend told him not to bring me. Reminder, I have done nothing to these people.
OP literally just exists. Like,
right.
It feels like all of OP's partners or OP's husband's choices have been all these things that his family doesn't like, and OP just exists. And instead of blaming them on the husband, they blame it on OP.
Right. And I don't think it's OP's fault at all. I also don't really think it's the husband's fault either.
No.
I just think that clearly there are a handful of people in his family that he already is like, I only have a connection with these people so I can bring peace to my great-grandmother.
Yeah.
I think you go without OP, you go without, and you're like, hey, whatever. She's not here. I'm here for the dinner. I don't have to really care about these people's thoughts or opinions about her. Of course, if they're going to like badmouth her at the dinner, you stand up for your partner.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that in an attempt to sort of make this smoother, you're actually making it more abrasive.
Yeah.
By avoiding and not going to these events. It's not something that's ever going to go away. And now, instead of it just being like, oh, well, they just don't like my spouse for no reason. They're going to be like, yeah, we don't like her because she's the reason you skipped the funeral. Because she's the reason you didn't come to the dinner. She's the reason that you did this.
Yeah, when
it's that.
It's nothing to do with her.
And you can tell them over and over, that's me. I chose to do that, not her. But they'll go, the only reason you chose to do that is because of her.
Yeah, it's a frustrating position to put OP in.
Right. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. My spouse has been trying to get away from his mother and his grandma since he was in his teens. His mom continuously coached him into believing he couldn't afford to live on his own when he works for RTS. He drives ambulances for a living. He was going to move in before me and wait till we got legally married to move me in with him. But before he went to the complex, he picked me up and told me he wanted me to go ahead and go with him. I've just been here holding him, hugging him, and being there as much as he needs while he wiggles his way out of his toxic family. I know this isn't a thread for venting, but I hope it's okay since this is an update. I refuse to be selfish and talk about my feelings towards all of it until it's resolved and he can rest easy knowing it's handled and over because I don't want to stress him out even more, worrying about my feelings as well. But I'm so exhausted. I wouldn't change anything even if I could, though. I love him with, you wouldn't change anything even if you could?
I feel like you would change a couple things.
You can. Look, it's okay for things not to be perfect all the time. And it's okay to want to change things in hindsight, you know? In hindsight, I would have wished he would have gone to the funeral and I would wish that your cousin wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
So then that this wouldn't have snowballed into what it is.
There's a lot of things probably could have changed to make this a little bit better.
I wouldn't change anything about how y'all feel about each other.
Yeah.
I love him with all that I am. I just got to get the anger of the situation off my chest before I explode. His family insists on believing I'm forcing him not to talk to them. They even got the chief of the fire department to call him. Saturday, we are now obligated to go to the fire department in order for him to at least keep his rank as a firefighter because he hasn't been there in a good while. It wasn't a concern that the chief had because him and my spouse were friends until after my spouse's mother decided to talk some crap about the situation.
Well, in that case, I mean, like, he goes to the fire station, says, hey, this is what's been going on. I have a rocky relationship with my family. And there you go.
I think what needs to really happen is he needs to go to the chief. He needs to go to the fire department and go, I need mental health resources.
Absolutely,
I need help.
Yeah.
Because
you can't do this job anymore.
Yeah. Well, after what happened, I need help.
Yeah.
Because I'm not okay.
Therapy.
The rain is freaking me out.
Yeah.
I'm not okay.
Yeah.
And there can be a lot of stigma in jobs like firefighting.
There is. I actually know because I did a podcast series on mental health and firefighting, and it is one of the most stigmatized against mental health careers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a huge stigma against receiving any sort of therapy in firefighting.
But hopefully, if the chief's your friend, you can get. But yeah, it might come time where it's like, this is not. You're gonna have to pivot. I have an entire family of people who hate my guts, including the ones who didn't hate me before. They think I coached him into staying home, into not talking to them, and into leaving his home. He tried telling them to their faces in person that it wasn't me, and they do not believe him at all. The most frustrating part is that I know it's kind of my fault for encouraging him to try and make peace in the first place.
It's not your fault.
Not really.
Your fault.
It's not really your fault. But it's 100% your fault that you can listen to full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, whatever it is, just search OK Storytime. And you can listen all the live long day. We've got a little bit more story left, but I hate that OP feels so guilty.
Yeah, for literally doing nothing wrong. Being like, hey, I want you to make peace with your family. And then they blame her. And then she says, oh, maybe you should go to the funeral. And he doesn't go and they blame her. It's just like so. I think also OP said, like, I don't know how to get all this anger off my chest. You're providing a lot of emotional support for your husband. Are you receiving that emotional support?
Yes. You know,
is it
I don't want to make it a red flag, but he's just going through a lot right now. But it's something to watch out for. You can't solve your problems by ignoring them.
Yeah.
And once a moment passes, you can't go back to the funeral.
No.
It's over forever. You know, you could look at that as an opportunity. You had an opportunity to go to that funeral, and that opportunity is gone, and it's gone because he just was like, I'm just going to ignore it. I'm just going to oops, I slept through my alarm.
I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. On another note, we are going to go to the courthouse and get legally married in a couple of months. After this last end of the drama is handled and the family members he still wanted to talk to have stopped being pissed at him and me, he plans on cutting off everyone else. I was very against this for a long time because, you know, the mindset, that's your parents, that's your grandparents. You have to like them, they're family. But I told him I wasn't against it anymore. I can understand why he wants to do it now, and I'm ready to have this whole situation over with. P.S. They told my husband that no one was allowed to bring their partner, and he checked the Ring cameras at his grandparents' house and saw everyone's partners were there.
What did they expect would happen when he showed up?
Yeah, there's something you could have done.
Yeah.
If they had told me that or told you that, and you show up and everyone's partner is there, you just leave.
Yeah.
Then you go, hey, I tried my best. You all lied to me. And you know what? Even if you all hate my spouse's guts, the least you could do is just be civil for one evening.
For a funeral, come
on. For one night, you could just not make the entire family thinking about how much they hate my wife.
Yeah, like figure it out. You're all adults. Figure it out.
Unbelievable. They just didn't want him to bring me because the whole family thinks I have him locked up with a ball and chain in a freaking cage for some reason, when all I do is literally cook and clean. I'm currently working on getting a degree so I can do a little more than just sit at our house cleaning and cooking every day. And that is the end of that story. And, you know, I remember you saying at the beginning that it was his dream to kind of have him be the provider and you be at home. So that might be another road to cross. I hope he's supportive of that.
And also, I mean, like, you're not a mother yet, so I think pursue your dreams while you, like, being a stay-at-home mom is a very valid pursuit and stuff, but like make sure before you're a parent that you're pursuing the dreams when you have that time, and don't let, you know, everything that he needs and he wants kind of override what you need and what you want.
Right. 100%. That's the end of that story though, and we've got another one coming up.
My mother-in-law treated me like I'm not family, and my husband still took her side.
Mama's boy.
And this comes directly from the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I, 28 female, have been with my husband, 30 male, for 11 years. My mother-in-law and I had a rocky start, but somehow managed to get along and have a healthy relationship. A little over a year ago, my mother-in-law, brother-in-law, and sister-in-law started a business. Without saying what it is, I was the only one with any experience in the field. I became the supervisor and ran the day-to-day. I also found out I was pregnant around the time of opening. By the way, this comes from Junior Reaction 6311, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, well, fast forward to the past few months. I had my child, beautiful, healthy baby, and was off for 2 months due to health issues during delivery. My sister-in-law, another supervisor, and another coworker, promoted to a supervisor as well, were in charge of paperwork, new hires, and all the day-to-day, including billing. I returned a month ago, and I had to fix the entire billing aspect so they would get paid. I went through all the paperwork to make sure they were in compliance. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago, my mother-in-law mentioned someone who wanted to apply, and I told her I tried to reach out to them, but we still had 2 other people who could help make that phone call. First mistake. I should have just done it. I had forgotten about it due to them piling more things on my plate and making sure things were done. This went on for a week. I was working 60 plus hours a week before and after my leave. Sometimes things get forgotten. We're all human after all. Well, my child was sick and I needed to take her to the doctor. My mother-in-law and brother-in-law just needed to talk to me about some things, and I asked them if it could wait until later that night, and I would call them or the next day due to my child having breathing issues. They said no and cornered me taking my child's car seat and what felt like holding us hostage during this meeting. I had just spent a week making sure everything was up to date and doing other tasks they added on to me. Side note, postpartum has hit me really badly with this baby, and I was already struggling and chose to go back to therapy. I left that night and didn't make it in time to take my child to the doctor, so I had to take the baby the next day. It resulted in baby needing treatments to help. I sent them an email stating I was resigning effective immediately due to the lack of good and healthy communication and the way they spoke to not only myself, but other employees we had whom I'd been trying to keep the peace with so they wouldn't quit. Wait, so you're dealing with like a new baby and they're not even letting you go to appointments? What does that like?
New baby, but the business comes before the baby.
Business comes before baby.
You've got a business baby.
Yeah, a boss baby, if you will.
That's crazy though.
Yeah.
These are
also illegal. Yeah. Now, today, I get a phone call from an employee who I grew close with, stating that mother-in-law has been belittling them and talking a lot of trash about me and how I'm an F-up, and now they have to fix everything. I'm so hurt that mother-in-law is doing the things she is, despite her begging me to re-enter the field so she could open her doors. Her birthday party is this weekend, and I just don't want to join. My husband tells me I should just ignore her to keep the peace until after the holidays and the family trip we have coming up, which I also don't want to attend. I have really bad panic attacks and anxiety as it is and can't mentally handle it. I think what you do, honestly, if you really feel like you just can't, do this, you say, oh, doctor, postpartum stuff. Oh, there's some complications with baby. Oh, baby's sick. Lie.
Yeah.
Lie about
what are they?
stuff.
What are they gonna say? Your baby? No,
yeah.
Baby don't matter.
Yeah. I want to add that my sister-in-law is only an owner because they needed her to sign to open the doors, and they don't give her a say in anything. And brother-in-law is just like mother-in-law with all this. So should I attend her party, or am I the a-hole if I don't attend somewhere I don't feel welcome anymore? There is a quick edit. My husband also works for a company, and I was already looking for another job before quitting. I really did not like being in that field at all. While still helping people, I chose to continue looking at fields I was in before returning to this one. I do not fault my husband at all, as he stands up for me all the time to her. He knows how I feel and supports my decision to leave and find something else. He's a great father and husband, so please don't come for him. And there is an update, but before we get into it, do you have any thoughts about what you should do?
I mean, I think you might want to find a new job.
Yeah, well, that's the first thing. You find a new job that actually supports you needing to go to the doctor with your baby.
I just don't think you should work with these people. Your in-laws clearly don't.
Yeah, they're just.
I don't know how they could do this when it's like it's your child. Like you have a newborn baby to take care of, and they
literally
don't care.
Their grandchild. And they don't care.
Yeah, that's above all else. Put yourself in a position where you don't have to rely on these people for your, financial security.
Yeah.
And they can't hold your car seat hostage.
Yeah. Crazy. So I attended with 3 out of 4 of our kiddos. One wanted to hang out with his cousin he didn't see often, so we let him. Well, mother-in-law stayed quiet about the business things today for the most part, and I had another guest ask me about it. So I guess hope you did make the decision to just kind of tough it out.
Okay.
And I did not lie and told her mother-in-law was a big reason for me leaving, but family is hard to work for, and that was it. I didn't go into detail. I don't know if I would have done that. I guess it depends on your relationship with that person. If I had a close relationship with that person and they were like, why'd you leave? And I'd be like, I couldn't work with mother-in-law. But if I didn't really have a close relationship with the person and I had come for the purpose of just keeping the peace, I don't know if I would have specified. I would have just been like, I was looking for a new job.
Yeah, you can keep that closer to the vest if you want.
I drove separately from my husband and left early due to the baby not liking fireworks. Our other 2 kids stayed to watch the fireworks show with my husband. My oldest texted me stating that mother-in-law was making comments about her son not being there and that he should be attending these functions and needs to not play video games so much and be outside more. Granted, we don't take our children over often as it's a bit of a drive to see their home, so they don't see them often. But more than my son gets to see his cousin.
They don't see them often, but more than my son gets.
Oh, okay. So they don't see them often, but more than my son gets to see his cousin. Different side of the family. I also want to add that he doesn't play video games unless his chores are done and it's not a weekday. Very rare that he gets to on the weekends due to us having plans or just hanging out as family. I brought this up to my husband tonight and he got snippy with me. He stated that my oldest, not his biological kid, is just starting stuff at this point. She does know that I'm not talking to mother-in-law right now, and I'm just being civil. She's a preteen and eavesdrops a lot and gets told to stay out of adult conversations daily. I try my best to make sure my kids aren't around if I need to vent about mother-in-law or brother-in-law out of respect and the fact she's still a child. That was it for me. I told him if these comments are true and he's blaming my child for telling me lies, that I'm done with this relationship. I will file for divorce. Whoa.
I do think it's kind of weird to be like...
to blame a kid.
Yeah.
I agree. I just feel like that was like out of the blue for me in this story. But it seems like it's not so out of the blue for OP.
Yeah, there had to have been something else going on there.
Little backstory, I grew up in a house where I told the truth about things, and my mother always took my stepdad's side and claimed I was a liar daily. I was also mistreated as a child. Story for another time. Anyway, I am furious at not only my husband, but his mother. I don't want to throw almost 12 years with this man down the drain over this. I know he's frustrated and torn between his mother and his family here with us, but I'm not labeling my child as a liar either. I am not comfortable with my children being around them. I really need advice because I don't want him blowing up at me for bringing this situation up again. I can be a broken record when something is bothering me, but I guess that's part of my anxiety and not ever being heard growing up. I've been working with my therapist on these issues because I recognize them and know I need to work on it. There is another update, which we'll just storm right through. I have started a new company, and my old employees are still in contact with me.
Okay, cool. All right, nice. We did that.
I talk to one or two daily because we became friends while working together. Anyway, this past week, one of my friends, we can call her Nora, called me very upset that the company is not paying her for hours worked, mandatory classes, and has taken a week off due to some issues. I support her 110%, and so does her fiance. Yesterday, she called me because an underage employee, let's call her Beth, who I'm friends with but not close with, is being given a few weeks to find a new job. Well, I had just stated that if it were me, I'd file unemployment because they're not giving Beth a reason to be fired, essentially. But I never told her to actually do it, just what I would do. By the way, what I would do is listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up Storytime. There is a little bit left of the story. Well, I feel like we learned a lot of information.
Yeah.
And OP never even told us if she's divorcing. We didn't go.
We still don't know that. I
don't know.
I don't know. I think that might have just been like a...
If he keeps going on this, I'm going to divorce.
Yeah, and it's very clearly very protective of the children.
Yeah, I think maybe it's like a heightened emotions.
Yeah.
Don't you dare accuse my daughter of being a liar.
If it's not his child as well.
Biological child. Which I think it's good that you're protective of your daughter, but, hopefully we can work through that and come to some sort of conclusion and compromise.
Yeah.
It doesn't involve having to divorce.
Hopefully. Yeah, I think in all of this, the children have to come first, I would say. The kids got to come first in all this situation.
Agreed. Well, Nora told Beth this information, and I'm not sure if Beth told mother-in-law that I said it. I don't work there anymore, so if a friend comes to me, I'm going to give insight on what I think. Well, now mother-in-law is calling me, and I refuse to answer, as I have a day full of meetings with my new company. I've told her this, and she's continuing to call me. I don't know, at this point, like, do not disturb her.
Yeah.
Get her, mute her.
Something.
Anytime she's contacted me lately, it's been questions about her company that she doesn't know the answer to, so I stopped responding or answering. Am I wrong for this? No, you don't work for her.
You don't.
You don't work for her. You don't have a good relationship with her. I don't know why she's talking to you.
Well, it sounds like some of that stuff you said might have made its way back to her, and now she wants to, read me out about it. So another reason why we might just keep that a little close.
Yeah, I agree. We don't have to, we just don't make comments about her to people that you think might bring it back to her.
Yeah.
But that's the end of that story, and that's the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.